Hello everyone, Drew here for Drew at Underground Gaming, back with another Is It Worth It? I don't remember, I think this is number 15, but don't quote me on that. Obviously you guys see the screen behind me, you guys see the thumbnail and the title. We're here to talk about Madden 24. Joining me today for this Is It Worth It? Longtime Madden player, along with myself, my younger brother Desert North. Hey bro.
Yep. Hey there.
We're up to 24, which means next year is the year that I talked about years ago when Madden 25 came out, the 25th anniversary of Madden. And at that time I asked, what are they going to call it? Madden 25 then in 2025 or 2024 actually.
Yeah, they really messed up their own series with that one. They're gonna have to think of something.
Yeah, so this time next year is going to be fun for figuring out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play that out.
Unless the NFL finally decides, or EA finally decides that they don't want to keep paying the NFL for the license and don't want to do NFL games anymore, then the NFL's going to have to go find somebody else. Thank fucking God if that's the case. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, Madden 24. I've been playing franchise mode. I started a Superstar stream last night. By the way, this is the Series X version on the screen behind me here. The Xbox One PS4 version does have franchise mode Ultimate Team, but does not have Superstar mode. It still has QB1, which means the last gen version is literally a roster update and nothing else. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
For $60.
Yeah, that's not really getting your money's worth.
However, Madden 24 with the updates it got feels like what AEW games, for those that don't know what AEW is. AEW stands for All Elite Wrestling. Their recent wrestling video game, they said when they released that they're not going to release another wrestling game. They're just going to build off of that game year after year after year after year and update after update after update to it at that point for years to come. Which Madden 24 feels like that's what happened here with the next gen version of it, or the current gen version of it, I should say now. That this feels like just a one massive fucking update to a bunch of stuff in the game and then adding one mode. This feels like Madden 23 2.0 is what this feels like to me. You?
Yeah, no, I mean it really doesn't feel like they changed much. So
yeah, other than Superstar mode, and it doesn't even quite feel like Superstar mode from Madden 08 on the original Xbox, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the last Madden for the original Xbox, as it turned out too. So, let me grab my notes here. By the way, one quick announcement before we get into the ratings for Madden. Haha, Madden ratings. Go fuck yourself, EA. I did start taking some notes for things for the year-end Game Awards and Entertainment Awards that we're going to be doing, and you and I will talk about that off camera specifically, but I did start doing that last night.
Mm-hmm.
So that is in the works, and Nord and I will be doing that, just the two of us at this point, because now there are only two of us in the underground.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to know why, hit me up in the Twitter DMs, and I'll tell you what happened. But as it is, there's no more Joshy with us, so. And that's all I'm willing to say at this point. But on that note, with that elephant out of the room, thankfully, Madden 24's ratings. Direction, 3 out of 10. it's what do you expect? It's Electronic Arts. Nord?
Yeah, it's not that impressive. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, it's a Madden game, so obviously it's still
Yeah,
got people
yeah.
all praised about the.
They added certain bells and whistles that people have been asking for a long time, like Superstar Mode. But like as I said earlier, it pales in comparison to Madden 08's Superstar Mode, or even other Madden games before that had it in it.
Mhm.
Or hell, the Superstar Mode even doesn't really even compare to, for the most part, to even Superstar Mode from Madden 10 or
Yeah,
11
it's
or 12.
yeah, it's like we said. I mean, not much improvement. I mean, it's sort of like just what we might call a developer phoning it in. Um,
Well, that would be an improvement, but
people are not gonna come away from this looking at Madden 24 and saying that it was a great game. If they're being honest, they would say it's just like, you know, meh. It's
yeah,
another one in the line, and that's all you can say about it, really.
I'm altering one score because I thought about it here for a minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Live in the video, I'm still rewriting a review because the next
Mhm.
category I thought about it and I agree with what another YouTuber said about the gameplay. The gameplay itself in this Madden is actually 2 or 3 steps better than last year or years prior. But
Mhm.
gameplay just being better, but not being better graphically all that much, if at all, isn't saying much. Because the next category is gameplay, and that scores an 8 out of 10.
Mhm.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, and then that's actually the one thing that we could say that they've gotten.
Better
It's
at
tolerable. I mean, it's
this time
it's
around, yeah.
it's to where you could say, okay, it's functional. It it's work. It works. There's not much to complain about in that regard.
Yeah. But the animation
But it's
things still
yeah, but
suck,
it's not
though.
breaking any like it's not breaking our minds. Okay, it's not like it's not shockingly different. It's just what they've gotten, what they've made good about the series at this point is that gameplay aspect, and a lot of the other stuff is just not very innovative, um, and makes the whole experience just kind of like sort of run of the mill. I mean, literally run of the mill is the word I would use, the phrase I would use to describe the entire game. So.
Yeah. And on that note, Superstar Mode itself, you can go through the combine, bench press, quarterback drills if you're playing as a quarterback, the shuttle, whatever thing from the combine, the broad jump,
Mm-hmm,
and the post combine interviews as well.
mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, those are nice things, and those are nice aspects of the game. Um, but I don't consider them to be like very important. Um, I remember back in the day when they included that type of stuff in the game, and I thought it was kind of interesting. But I also felt like it was disappointing in a sense because it was difficult, and you basically a mechanic in a game that just adds itself in order to be more difficult, in
Yeah,
order to complicate things, but not actually make them more interesting,
yeah,
is what you might call a bad mechanic. I mean, it's if they're going to do it that way, they should do it a different way. I mean, they should do it to where it's beneficial to the gameplay, not like a drag.
yeah,
So I mean, it's yeah, it's a feature it should be in most respectable football games, of course, but it's got to be done right, you know.
yep. So on that note, let's see. The next category is for Med 24 art. Scores a 6 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That sounds about right.
It's not the worst looking game I've ever seen. In fact, it's probably on par with current gen games. But
Hmm.
when the towel on your quarterback is glitching down to his ankles from his crotch at that point, when you're trying to
Yeah.
put like the hand warmer on him, that's a problem. And and that's part of the bug category, which we'll get to at the end here. But that has nothing to do with the art, though. That's more of a graphic thing.
Hang on one sec, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah.
hang okay for a sec here.
All right. So, with that in mind, the next category, character model, is a 7 out of 10, as you see on the screen. Looks really good, but certain players in the game don't look that good because Jason Allen is, or Josh Allen, sorry. Why was I thinking Jason Allen? I have no fucking clue. Josh Allen looks really good because he's a superstar, plus he's the cover athlete for the game, so. But beyond that, as I was saying with the last gen version, obviously it's not going to look like this. Obviously, with Superstar mode, and then that one stupid online mode is not in this version. That's in the last gen version. I don't think it's called Superstar Knockout. I think that's in this one.
Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's fine. So character model is a 7 out of 10. What do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's one of its actual strong points.
Yeah. All of the superstar players look like them, but the non-superstar players not quite as much. Your thoughts? We'll wait for Nord to get his headset fixed. Business there.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say the character models are as good as they've pretty much ever been. The superstar ones are the best, yes, obviously. Um,
Like,
but yeah, I would
like,
say.
like Josh Allen here, who's the cover athlete, so of course he'll look the best.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a funny thing that that with last year's Mad 23 coming out, Josh Allen was on social media saying that he'll stick to to like All Pro Football 2K8 or something like that. And now this year he's on the cover of Madden. They obviously threw him a lot of money, and he said yes to the money then, because even he wasn't a fan of last year's Madden.
Yep.
But yet he's on the cover. So, but uh, after the character model, we got the sound effects are an 8 out of 10. It sounds like football, which is what it's supposed to do, bro.
Yeah, I mean that they've had that going for them for the longest time. The audio is the easiest thing to do. I mean, really, it's easy. And I mean, they've had legacy sound effects to use, and they've had so much uh, perfecting of it over time to where if you would sit there and say, "Oh, well, I don't like the sound effects," it's like, yeah, have you been to a football game? Because that's pretty much what it sounds like. So that there's nowhere to go with that. It's just they did it right. It's been done. It's nothing new. It's just part of the game, and it's good that they have it right and they didn't mess it up or anything. But it's not revolutionary or anything. It's not like not mind blowing. It's just the sounds of football
Yeah, but
that we're all familiar with.
the sound effects category is partially linked with the next one, which is music or the score in the game. Because here,
Yeah, yeah. See
be,
the
be,
football music. I was just gonna say sometimes the soundtrack of the game can actually make the game better.
yeah,
Um,
in this case, it's a 3 out of 10, and I'll give you an example of how to fix it. EA, it's an NFL fucking football game. You should be able to have the rights to NFL films. Just saying,
hmm
and their music. Just
Yeah.
saying. Just throwing an idea out there, EA. You know. But a 3 out of 10 for the music. Typical Gen Z
hmm
bullshit.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just kind of music today is garbage, and so that's what they decided to put in the game, garbage.
Yeah. There's no story to this, so there's nothing in that category. Servers are a 7 out of 10. They're not great, but they're not terrible either, because it's EA servers. You get server errors
hmm
all the time. It's what you expect at this point.
hmm
So I think a 7 out of 10 is being generous here, but it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, it functions, but it's not perfect. Just
Yeah.
like every
Mm,
MMO,
mm.
basically every game that's online.
And now, arguably the most controversial category in existence, MTX, which stands for microtransactions. It scores a negative 10 out of a possible, from negative 10 to positive 10.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, when you're spending $90 for the deluxe edition, and the microtransactions are priced like, here's the problem with Ultimate Team, right? You want to play all of these old football players in a mode, but you got to pay for it. Well, I did. I bought the fucking game. No, but you got to pay for it again. And again, because if you want to use John Madden as a tight end, you got to pay for him. If I want to use John Elway as a quarterback, you got to pay for him too on top of it. You see where I'm going here? That's why it's
Yeah. hmm
a negative out of 10,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
or
microtransactions are
a
always
negative
going to
10, yeah.
be the most. They're always going to be the most annoying thing about these damn games.
Because here's the thing: if Madden were a free-to-play game, this score would be like anywhere from a 0 to a 3 out of 10 for
hmm
for the microtransactions. It would be a positive score at that point, which probably would put it up above a 5 out of 10 at that point.
hmm
But seeing as that it's a $70 game on next gen, $60 on last gen, which is just a glorified roster update at that point, it's a negative 10. There's no two ways around it.
Yeah,
Anime,
this just
yeah,
too many microtransactions ruins the game. I mean, really, it ruins the experience.
yeah.
So,
Now, to clarify, in comparison, MLB The Show got a negative 5 in this category, but that's because, first of all, the prices for their microtransactions are negligible at that point, and their Ultimate Team is not on the front fucking menu. You have to go digging in the game fucking for it to play it. And they don't even put it in their fucking advertising like you do, EA, so go fuck yourself.
hmm
Yeah, so the show is a lot the show's a lot better with it, but would the show be better without the mode? Yes. Same thing goes for Madden. Because that would mean that they would then have to focus on making franchise better, making now superstar mode the way it used to be on Madden 08, or like 10 years better at that point. Because it's been like, what, 13 years since Madden 08 now?
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, animations is up next. That's a 6 out of 10. When you have blockers blocking the receivers defensive linemen blocking receivers trying to run their route into the defensive line and sandwiching them in between each other, and the block animation still happening with the receiver getting crushed.
Yeah.
Test your fucking game, EA. God damn it. Or whoever the name of the studio
And
is.
yeah, we shouldn't still be witnessing the same like pixel crossing fading into each other sort of
The
stuff.
problem is that a football game should not be made with the Frostbite engine.
Yeah, that's true.
Is the biggest problem here. Because when they switched to that for Madden 13, that's when all these bugs started, and they're still in the game 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole joke. I have no joke. And this is no joke. This is just sad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Things that aren't very sad. The multiplayer is a 7 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean the multiplayer is again another one of the strong points of the game.
Yeah.
But it's been the same for years, so it's nothing new. Again, everything this game does well is nothing new. It's all just stuff that it was already good at.
Yeah,
in previous titles.
and somehow EA managed to not mess them up, which you can count on one hand things that EA didn't mess up at that point, and using only 2 or 3 fingers to do so, even though I'd rather use one finger to do so.
Yeah.
That's for you, EA, as always. But graphics up next. That scores a 6 out of 10. Okay, just keep in mind the character model and graphics are 2 different things. This is about the football, the stadium, the fans, the environment and whatnot. So I swear that older Maddens have better looking fans and stadiums than this. You?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
And also older Maddens also had Create a Fan too. On top of it.
Which is funny, but yeah, I mean, still more creative.
Next category is actually tied for the strongest category, along with the sound effects and the gameplay, and that's replay value to this. It's also an 8 out of 10. Madden is the type of thing that you will keep playing over and over for however long, or until the next game comes out, or until you get excuse me, or until you get sick of all the bugs and going, fuck this, I can't do it anymore. One of the 3. Or 2 in this case. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that also, yeah.
8 out of 10 for the replay value?
Sure, of course. And if it didn't have high replay value, what good would it be?
It would have absolutely no value at all.
Nobody wants to play nobody wants to play like an RPG football game. It's not what it's supposed to be.
Well, actually,
I mean, in that sense,
Well, actually, I know one person that would. Me.
No, you know what I'm saying though. I mean, like a game where you do quests and adventures in football. It's like that's not what you play the game for.
Well, when I picture
you play it for putting yourself in the NFL as a career.
When I picture a football RPG, as in within the game physically waking up out of bed, which is your save point, your manual save point, going downstairs from your apartment or outside from your house, getting in your car, driving to the practice field, going in physically all in game, mind you, going into the locker room, going to your team's locker, putting on your practice uniform, going out and doing your 2-3 days practices for training camp. and repeat the next day until you get through the season. That's what I picture for a football RPG.
Yeah.
It's basically a Grand Theft Auto clone without the theft part meets football at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm looking up in my binder here is the rating for previous Maddens in comparison. Uh, for Madden 21, I didn't have replay value for that one as a category. But the animation scored a 3 out of 10 for Madden 21, so that ought to tell you where things are.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, overall, that scored a 3.1. Let's see, where are the other ratings? Here we are in the back of it. Oh, wait, no, that's for the console shit. I was wondering where that went. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. Because I hastily put these papers in here when I was in the process of packing to move to Arizona here. But on that note, after replay value, AI scores a 5 out of 10. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that pretty much. Yeah.
Like I said, when the blockers are blocking receivers in between each other, and then the receiver right at the end of the play finally gets sprung for his route, which is irrelevant at that point, there's a problem. Okay, it's not on that side. But after that, we got physics are 5 out of 10. Players are still sliding like 5 yards to intercept something from time to time. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it definitely could use some work on that one.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to flip through these and see if I find it. Yeah, here's Madden 22. Scored a 3.8 out of 10, which was just a little bit better than 21, but not by much. And the replay value for this was a 5 out of 10 in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow this one has a higher bug rating of 4 compared to a 3, but somehow this one had less replay value somehow.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, well, every game is different.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have Madden 23s here at hand, I think. For whatever reason. But those were the previous two Madden ratings for the replay value, though. But on that note, after physics is the bugs, it's a 3 out of 10. Between the
Mm-hmm.
towel thing, the receiver getting squashed between two linemen, defensive backs or safeties sliding like a couple of yards from out of position into position to pick off your pass, which will piss you off as a quarterback every time. Because your guy was open, and then suddenly, as soon as you release the ball, halfway through the ball getting there, he's not open anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Fix your shit, EA. And next year there's supposed to be a college football game coming out from EA. We'll see if that's any good based off of Madden at this point. I'm not going to hold my breath at the moment. But and
Yeah.
also 2K is supposed to be doing an arcade NFL football game. Well, we'll see how that goes because that's supposed to come out at some point by the end of this year to beginning of next year somewhere, supposedly. Even though I feel like we've been talking about 2K's NFL game for like 2 years now. Your thoughts on any of that? Well, first of all, the official rating from the rating system here, 4.8 out of 10 for Madden 24. It's up from last
Mm-hmm.
year's, but not by much. Because last year's was 3 something overall.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lot closer to a completely average game of 5 out of 10 at that point. But as it is, on another side note with Madden, evidently EA's exclusive license to make simulation games is coming up in 2026. But I'm hearing that the NFL has an out if they decide to in 2025 from that deal. Your thoughts?
Yep. Releases are always a complicated issue, um, and they make choices. Developers make choices, and you only really know in hindsight whether it was intelligent or not. So, I mean,
All I know is signing an exclusive license to make something hurts that industry, regardless of what it is, because it eliminates the potential for competition, and competition makes either the weak fall away or adapt and get stronger and make a better product. In this case, EA with no competition, this is what we get, folks. 4.8 out of 10. Meanwhile, when we had NFL 2K5 and Madden 05, both were on par with each other back then, right?
yeah.
Even though some would say, and I'm probably one of them, that would say that ESPN NFL 2K5 was better from a gameplay, animation, and just all around better aspect of it. The modes were better in Madden though back then in 05, but that was also Madden 05 was I think the second Madden that had Superstar mode in it, I believe. So where you could play as a player in the league at that point. But on that note, the question, is it worth it? It's worth waiting for on Game Pass in 10 months? Yes. Is it worth $60 for the last gen? Absolutely fucking not. It's not even worth $1 on Xbox One
Mm-hmm.
and PS4, in my opinion. Is it worth buying on current gen? Yes, but not at its current price. I would say wait till it, like I said, it's either in Game Pass in 10 months or wait till you can find it or on sale, or better yet, try to like mooch from YouTube, try to get someone to buy it for you
Mm-hmm.
instead. Try to talk your parents into buying it for you, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Or try to talk your dad into buying it for you if you're a 40-year-old who likes playing video games. If your dad's still here. But on that note, any last minute thoughts about Madden 24?
Yep, I pretty much said everything I could say about that. It's sort of a mediocre entry in the
Yeah,
series.
it's
So
not horribly fucking shit this time, but it's also not good either.
it's not worth the price. We know that, since that's the whole
Yeah,
point of this video. It's definitely not worth the price.
Madden would obviously be worth it if it were a free to play game, no question about it. Because
Mm-hmm.
then it would make more sense with all the microtransactions in it. Then at that point, I would completely let go of the microtransaction debate in Madden at that point, because then the EA would have to make money on it somehow. And I would let the microtransactions be for Ultimate Team, and I would let Ultimate Team be at that point. I would just go, I'm glad it's there. I'm glad that they're going to make money. But no, it's a fucking $90 game for the deluxe edition, which is what I bought to play it a couple days early so I could try to get this review done sooner than later, but work got in the way. And among other things. But on that note, one final announcement before we get out of here. As of last night, uh, this channel is also now going to have a Rumble counterpart as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you guys know, this channel is called Drew Underground Gaming here on YouTube, but on Rumble side, it's going to be under its original name, Drew Games, which is the same as my gamer tag on Xbox and PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that in mind, you will probably wind up seeing this on Rumble at some point. And if you guys are on Rumble and you're seeing this, please follow us here, Drew Games here on Rumble. You know the channel you're watching right now, just in case if this does wind up on Rumble. And also while you're here, go check out Drew Underground over on Rumble, Drew Underground over on YouTube as well for non-gaming related content. Go check out Desert Nord on YouTube for his memes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us both on Twitter, Drew, Desert Nord 26, and find both of us
Mm-hmm.
on Xbox Live as Drew Games and Desert Nord 26 as well. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Drew, he's Desert Nord. Madden is worth it in about 10 months.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Rumble on.